This is the Women's Basketball Weekly Report for Pioneer Vision on the Ed Swanson Coaches Show. And, Coach, before we look forward to Quinnipiac, what's going to be a big two-game stretch for you, just to revisit LIU, a 77-59 loss at Long Island. It looked like Ashley Palmer, who's such a dominant post presence, 9 for 13, 19 points and 10 rebounds. Is that just a case of running into a team that had a dominant player that wouldn't be denied?
Yeah, I just think it's part of running into a team that played really well. I think sometimes in coaching, you always look back and you say, your team didn't do this, they didn't do that, they didn't do that. But I thought LIU did everything really well. You know what I mean? They took us out of our rhythm defensively, and offensively they hit shots. They were hitting at they were running their offense and executing, and they did a lot of good things. And we ran into a really team that played really well. We didn't play great, but we had some things. We got some things exposed on Monday night that we have to work on this week and clean up before the Quinnipiac game.
Well, on the bright spot, though, Morgan Merriman went 7 for 9 with 14 points. That was a career high for her. Erica Norman continues to emerge, 5 for 11, 12 points. Your team being dealt that tough blow of Elisa Appo getting that tough injury, that opens up some spots for some players to grow and emerge. Is that a case of what we're seeing is maybe some maturing and some of the players maybe stepping up to the challenge?
I think so. I mean, when you look at our starting lineup and the players we have in our rotation, we really only have one senior. Maggie Cosgrove is our only senior, and so there's been we have two freshmen in the starting lineup and a sophomore, and Morgan's a sophomore as well, and that's the type of player I think Morgan can be. I think she's playing the game with confidence. She's had kind of an up and down year. Started off great, kind of leveled off a little bit in the middle, and I think is coming on a little bit, but. She's one of our better athletes, and she's strong, and I hope she can finish the season off strong here. And Erica's the same way. I think Erica's going to be a terrific player here for the next 4 years in the Pioneer uniform. And she's a point guard, and she's going to make mistakes, and but I see a lot more positive in her than negative. And as long as she stays with it and keeps working hard, I think the sky's the limit for her.
We turn our attention forward now to rivalry week here in the Northeast Conference, and it really couldn't be scripted any better. You and Quinnipiac playing up the road from each other with identical records right now, going in tied for third place with 8-4 records, while out in Western Pennsylvania, Robert Morris and St. Francis are tied for first at 10-2. So those two teams face each other. You guys face each other. It's kind of a perfect script. Is that anything you even pay attention to, or are you just focused on the next game at hand?
Well, I think the league it's been a terrific league, and if you look at our power rank and our RPI, we're ranked 18th in the country. I think that's as high as we've ever been, and unfortunately, the teams in our conference are beating each other up, and Quinnipiac will be, we have a lot of respect for them and their coaching staff and their players. It's going to be a hard-fought, game, and I still think it's a little bit too early to be looking at the standings a little bit. I think you do that, you keep your eye off of what you have to, what you're playing for on Saturday, and first things are first. And I don't think any team in our league can look at their schedule and say, well, that's a win. I think it's going to be a fun game. It always is. It's high energy. And we're looking forward to it. But I think it's a little bit too early to. It's a little bit too early to peak as a team, and it's a little too early to be looking at the standings and trying to figure out where you're going to end up.
Looking at the marquee players in this game, of course, Callan Taylor has led you guys all year at 15 points a game and just over 8 rebounds a game. Quinnipiac is a player in Courtney Kaminsky who's just under 13 points a game and averaging just over 6. I've seen those two play. They kind of have similar games in that they both can be dominant low post presences, but they also can shoot it outside. Is this going to be a marquee matchup over the next 2 games?
Yeah, that's going to be a good matchup, I think. Courtney, I think, is one of the better big players in our conference, and she does have the dimension where she can go inside, go outside, and they have another terrific player. I know you wanted to talk about Courtney, but Felicia Barron's another guard that we haven't seen. Unfortunately, she's had kind of an injury-plagued career, and but I'm interested to watch her and Erica, battle each other at the point guard spot. Both kind of similar players in terms of quickness and speed. Felicia might have a little bit over on the outside shooting, but And then they have a terrific freshman, Brittany McQueen. That's a very good low post player. So there's a lot of good young players, and there's a lot of good veteran players that'll be playing. So it should be a fun game to watch.
All right, we're looking forward to both of these. Thanks for the time, Coach.
Thanks, Randy.
Ed Swanson here on the Ed Swanson Coaches Show. 2 games coming up between Quinnipiac and Sacred Heart. Rivalry week Saturday afternoon at Quinnipiac, and then Monday, Valentine's Day, here at 5 o'clock on a game that'll be regionally televised.